Here at Helmuth Ford, we are a small town dealership with no hassle and no pressure.
Sigourney Mercantile at 106 East Washington in Sigourney is an occasional shop offering refinished furniture, decor, beeswax products, honey, and more. Sigourney Mercantile is an occasional shop, which means you can watch for their upcoming events and their open hours, which are available on the Sigourney Mercantile Facebook and Instagram pages. They are open this Friday and Saturday from 10 to 3 for Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. That's Sigourney Mercantile on the north side of the square in Sigourney.
Wines from Tassel Ridge Winery can make a nice contribution to your Thanksgiving dinner. Cranberry wine is sweet with a long and smooth finish, and the 2024 Iowa Nouveau is a very fresh wine with slight sweetness that will enhance all of the dishes that are typically present in a Thanksgiving dinner. Both of these wines are made at Tassel Ridge Winery in Lighton between Pella and Oskaloosa. Tassel Ridge wines are sold in about 350 retailers located all over Iowa. Click here for the name of a retailer near you. Cranberry wine is available now, and the 2024 Iowa Nouveau will be released on November 21st.
Come enjoy yourselves at the annual Christmas fundraiser for A Legacy Home Christmas. Take part in giving a child a very Merry Christmas and a second chance at life. December 14th at 6:30 p.m. with dinner and live entertainment at Vermeer Global Pavilion in Pella. RSVP individually or host a table of 8. Contact 641-232-0049 or use the email on the screen. Music features Christian recording artist Todd Agnew. A Legacy Home Christmas fundraiser December 14th, 6:30 p.m. at the Vermeer Global Pavilion in Pella. It's the holiday season at Stam Garden Center and Nursery. Come visit Stam's to take a closer look at all that they have to offer. Stam Garden Center and Nursery is open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., closed on Sundays. Located at 2421 Highway 92, Oskaloosa. Call 641-672-1437. Experience the color this Christmas at Stam Garden Center and Nursery. Stop into Barnwired in Sigourney the week of Thanksgiving. Monday, November 25th, get $1 off any fall drink. Tuesday, the 26th, fill a drink carrier for just $20, 16-ounce size only. Wednesday, 50% off all regular pottery. Closed on Thanksgiving. Then on Black Friday, November 29th, buy one, get one on all Christmas ornaments. And Saturday, November 30th, purchase a Corksicle mug and get a free specialty coffee on us of equal size to the mug. Stop into Barnwired the week of Thanksgiving on the south side of the square in Sigourney. Stepping Stones and Eagles Nest Christian bookstores are thankful for you. Coming up this week is Plaid Friday, November 29th. Small Business Saturday on November 30th. November 29th and 30th only is the 2-day sale, with over 300 items on sale. Get your Christmas shopping done in one place. A coloring contest is also active now through December 30th. And enter to win a trip to Sight and Sound Theaters in Lancaster, Pennsylvania to see Noah live on stage. Over 300 items on sale. Get a book for a penny. And make sure to follow us at Stepping Stones and Eagles Nest Bookstores on Facebook, Instagram, and SteppingStonesBookstores.com. Are you alone for Thanksgiving? Don't want to cook? Don't want all the mess afterwards? Or do you just need a place to go this year? If you've answered yes to any of those questions, then you're cordially invited to join the 12th Annual Community Thanksgiving Day Dinner, Thursday, November 28th, starting at 11:30 a.m. at the Sigourney Senior Citizens Center. Everyone's invited. Bring yourself, your family, your friends. There's no cost. For deliveries, questions, or if you'd like to volunteer, call Mike at 319-330-9934 or Carol at 319-330-1612. We hope to see you there.
Welcome to this edition of Morgan You Asked For podcast. This does not happen very often, but we are here together at my place. It's almost Thanksgiving. I'm off for Thanksgiving break now. Trevor's back in town for the week. And as we said, it's more difficult when we're here in town, and it was difficult getting this. We kind of planned last night. But he got to town a little earlier, and it's harder, but we made it work. Not sure how long this is going to go. It's going to be mainly college focused today. And again, just welcome Trev, and here we go. Hopefully everybody's ready for a great Thanksgiving week. We both have our beers, Ames Lager, and he's got Busch Light. And we're ready to go for the weekend.
Yeah, it's nice to do this in person. I think we've only done this one other time over the years. So, busy schedule, only back for a few days. So trying to see everybody, get caught up, seeing friends and family, and then obviously making this work here. You know, we probably won't go as long tonight, I don't think, but that's all right. At least we were able to get together.
Yeah. Obviously the main topic this week is the college football playoff, college football, who's getting into the championship games, and Iowa State's right in the mix. They win. They're almost in. It's not 100%. It's not win and you go. But 5 things is what I read have to happen for them not to go. So the odds of that are not good, but I will say this. There's been a lot of things that had to happen to make Iowa State even eligible to get to the Big 12 championship game, and they all happened. Last week was almost a perfect weekend. If Texas Tech would have lost that game to Oklahoma State and it was end up really a close game, it would have been a perfect weekend. But still, it's all you can ask for. Saturday night, Jack Trice Stadium, you win. It's like 95% chance you're going to the Big 12 championship game. It's one of the biggest games. I hear people say it's the biggest game ever in Cyclone history. I'm not going to say that. It's probably first or second ever in Jack Trice Stadium. I would say the biggest game in Cyclone history was the Big 12 championship game against Oklahoma in 2020. That would have got you a Big 12 championship, something that essentially has never happened in Cyclone history. So we're on pace to do that again. You win 2 games here, you're in the playoff, and we go from there.
Yeah, it's things are lining up for Iowa State. Last week was crazy. I didn't get to watch all the games, but 6 or 7 top 25 teams lost. Mm-hmm. So that opens the door for Iowa State. Colorado losing. I saw in your power rankings, I just didn't have time to get mine out today, but I would agree with yours having Kansas won.
They're good.
Their record doesn't look good, but the last 3 weeks, I don't think there's anybody in the Big 12 playing better. Obviously, they keep knocking off everybody that's like in the first or second spot there. So I liked your power rankings, the brief look that I took at them. But for Iowa State, I've got the schedule pulled up because again, I'm so far behind this week on stuff with traveling and things like that. But 6:30 Jack Trice, and I assume you're going to be there.
Yep, I'll be there, bundled up, coveralls, hand warmers. It's going to be cold. I'm actually going to go up tomorrow to Ames and get the camper. It's there right now, but it's just going to be too cold. It's going to be even sitting in the camper. Yeah, we could turn the heater on. It's still just not going to be enjoyable before or after the game. So I'm going to go up tomorrow, get it, and put it away for the year. I have to have it out Sunday anyway. So, yeah, we're going to go up tomorrow, get it out of there, and then we have our spots. So we'll be able to park there and have a beer or two and then head in. But it's not going to be weather to go hang out for a couple hours and grill or cook or anything. You would just sit in your camper anyway. So we're probably just going to go up later, get to the game, and then obviously if Iowa State wins and is going to a Big 12 championship, might hang out a little bit longer, but it's going to be a late night, and we're just going to drive home after, sleep in a nice warm bed.
You might have to have that camper ready to go to the Big 12 championship or to go to one of the playoff games if they make it.
Well, it's the camper's not going anywhere after this week, but I will be going if they do make it to the Big 12 championship game and to the playoff game. I'm not going to say 100% on the playoff game because a lot of it does matter when they play and where they play, but a 90% chance I would go.
Yeah,
it's just one of those.
I don't blame you. That's a pretty special opportunity if they do make it. So yeah, I know with school and all that kind of stuff, it depends on the schedule. But yeah, if you can get to that game, if they make it, that would be pretty awesome. So yeah, things are lining up for Iowa State. What do you think of some of the performances last week? Like I said, I only got to watch a little bit of college, so I'm behind this week.
Well, with Iowa State, they played about, and Jeff Woody was really good, former Iowa State running back. He was on before and after the game and everything, and he was really good, and he has a podcast on Tuesdays. And he goes, just for round numbers, he goes, let's say there's 200 plays in the game. Iowa State won 190 of them. but the 10 plays they lost were really bad losses. Like, it wasn't a 50-50. It was a 95-5% Utah won. Block punt for a touchdown, a pick six, a dropped punt. That's 17 direct points because the defense on the muff punt, they didn't go anywhere. They kicked a field goal. So the defense didn't give up anything. And obviously the 2 touchdowns that the defense didn't have any part of. So there's 17 points. And so they gave up the 90-yard touchdown, which is not good. But realistically, to not give up any touchdowns is not reasonable. Iowa State's defense hasn't been great. The one drive they had to get a new quarterback in, and they were not prepared for that and running that zone read with a different quarterback because I think his name's Isaac Wilson. Zach Wilson's little brother is not the running quarterback. But the guy they brought in after he got hurt is much more of a runner. But good teams find a way to win. They didn't do it against Texas Tech. They did do it against Iowa. They did do it against Cincinnati. Cincinnati or Central Florida. And then they did do it against Utah. So most of the times they did it, and you're down to one game now.
Yeah, for Iowa State, it's not really about style points at this point in the season. You just got to win, obviously get to the Big 12 championship and then win that. But, Utah's a tough place to play. That was one that I had circled. I thought they were going to end up losing. You asked me last week if they could win. I thought it'd be too tough, but they pulled it out. Utah, as bad as they are this year, that's one of the tougher places to play out west.
Yeah, I had them undefeated going into this week and losing, if you go back to our preseason predictions. So I thought we all thought Utah would be better. And kind of getting back to Kansas, putting them at number 1 in this week's power rankings, Kansas was picked like second or third in the league. So they're supposed to be this good. For whatever reason, the first 5 or 6 games, they couldn't figure it out. They were like 1-5. Bad bounces, fumbles, late, turnovers, things happen. And it happened. And for Iowa State and Arizona State and BYU and Colorado, good, because keep winning games and keep beating each other, but they're out. They're not going anywhere. They're not even bowl. They have to win this week to get bowl eligible still. That's how bad they started. But Kansas is playing the best by far and showing how good they were if things didn't go bad at the beginning of the year. And who would have thought Utah and Oklahoma State, the other top teams that were predicted, would be dead last with 1 win in the conference between them, and that was a Utah against Oklahoma State game at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, the Big 12 is all backwards from what we all thought it was going to be. I thought Oklahoma State and Utah would be good because they both always are under their current coaches, and I thought Iowa State would be decent. They're doing better than I expected at this point. Colorado is another nice surprise, but I think I did see something before I got here. If Kansas didn't play the final 2 minutes of all their losses, they'd be undefeated or something like that.
Maybe 1 loss
or 1. Yeah.
Yeah. They would be really good there. Yes. That is 100% correct. They would be right there for everything. And then just, a little bit of commentary here on just tiebreakers. I said there's 5 things that have to happen. The conferences are too big. Games that happen in September, games that happen against teams you don't play. That's some of the freakiness of the Big 12 is you have 4 teams that are at the top: Iowa State, Arizona, Colorado, and BYU. And Iowa State does not play any of the 4, which is crazy. That just happens, and that's the problem with these big conferences. But what happens in a Texas Tech West Virginia game, because of the conference record against like opponents, that's one of the criteria, matters. So we're actually huge West Virginia Mountaineer fans this week as well.
So who's West Virginia got?
Texas Tech. Iowa State needs Texas Tech to lose. It's not 100% that they need them to lose, but that's one of the things that will help Iowa State.
Okay, so they need Texas Tech to lose. Arizona State are they in the most control right now? Is there anybody?
I don't think anybody has 100% control.
Okay.
I do not think there's anybody, because there's actually still ways if Iowa State loses, they go. If everybody loses, I think I did see that, because there would be a 4-way tie if everybody loses again, that Iowa State and Arizona State play. So like I said, Iowa State has more That win against Baylor is actually really good because Baylor's playing really well right now. The win against Cincinnati's not bad because they have a winning record. TCU is doing better, a win against them. So they didn't play the top 4 teams, but they played like everybody right after them. Like, we didn't play Oklahoma State, who's not good. We didn't play Arizona, who's not good. So we skipped a couple of those teams that don't have any wins or one win. So their conference strength of schedule is actually pretty good.
Yeah, no, they played a pretty good schedule this year, plus a win on the road at Iowa. That's always a big one to get versus the rival there. Colorado had a bad week, but they got taken down by Kansas, which I don't think anyone was too shocked by that, the way Kansas has been playing lately.
I was surprised at how it wasn't close.
It wasn't very close.
The Arizona State BYU game ended up being absolutely crazy, rushing the field, taking the goalpost down, and then have to put them back up for 1 second. Yeah, and then, just elsewhere in college football, the SEC is a complete and utter mess right now too. Ole Miss essentially was in the playoff, but they lost to Florida, who's a 500 team. Mm-hmm. I think Alabama lost again to Oklahoma, which is a bad or 500 team. So that's the issue, is you're going to have, and like playoff predictors, it's going to come out later tonight, that has SMU in the playoff along with Miami. That's the prediction. I'd like to almost see SMU run the table and win that ACC. I know Clemson's going to have a say in that. Clemson doesn't have a say in it because they're done playing ACC games. But it could be, I don't even know who's going to go to the ACC championship game, if it's Clemson, Miami, and SMU tie. I don't know who goes there. But we'd like to see one of those teams or a few of those teams lose to maybe give. I just don't see how Iowa State has any chance to get into a playoff with 3 losses, or Colorado or BYU or Arizona State into the playoff with 3 losses with a loss in the big. So it's still 1. So ultimately it doesn't matter. The big thing is you want to get that bye, which would be nice if the ACC would lose a couple. It'd be nice to see Boise State lose, but who steps in above them? I'm going to ask you a question here, Trev. Let's use Iowa State as an example. Plays Kansas State, who is, I do not believe, ranked as of now. They could be ranked when we come in here this Saturday. But if they're not ranked, they're going to be 26, 27, 20. They're right on the cusp of the top 25. And then obviously you're going to play a ranked team that's going to be ahead of you, I believe. Is that enough to pass Boise State and get the bye, even if Boise State wins the rest of their game? Because